There it is.
So here we are. In Copenhagen.
You're finally here.
Denmark.
Yeah.
I got to come here. I met you guys. We partied. The first time I partied with you guys was on 4th of July in Modesto, California. What year was that? Can you guys help me out here?
2010. 2010. 8 years ago.
Okay, 8 years ago, 2010. You're partying with us, dealing with the day of Declaration of Independence. And we talked politics then, and a lot of things that's gone on in the world now. So before we go into that, why don't you guys introduce yourself? And you guys came as a band touring. That's how I met you. Why don't you introduce yourselves? Tell me about your band, the kind of music, and then about your touring through the United States as well.
Huh?
You wanna start out?
Yeah, well,
We'll start with you.
Yeah, we're at my place, and this is Copenhagen. This is Amager in Copenhagen. This is my place. I live here with my family, my wife and 2 daughters, and I'm a teacher. I teach Danish to foreigners in Copenhagen, and then I'm a singer in this band that you're talking about, the Foreign Resort. And
The Foreign Resort.
yeah,
Okay. Yes.
Exactly. And yeah, we've been touring the States. We played 250 shows in the States over the past 8 years, across the States, West Coast, East Coast. We played Texas.
How many states are it?
I don't know. We played 20 states or something like that. We toured across Canada. We've been playing in Europe. But
I think
the thing is, I think what the main point is right now with the touring is we've done a lot of DIY touring, and this is how we met. So we're in touch with a lot of bands and a lot of musicians, a lot of artists across America that do their own thing.
Mm-hmm. So that's why we're here. And I'm Morten. I play the drums in the Foreign Resort. So been along all the way.
No, this is great. Now, when I first saw you guys, you were very interested shortly after we met about moving to the United States. Mm-hmm. And then something happened, and then I started singing your guys' music that you even kind of seemed to write some music that really went in the opposite direction. Talk about. So you guys wanted to move to the United States at one time?
Well, I really think that one thing is of course it's 10 years ago. It's 8 years ago now, and we got older, and of course a lot has happened since then, and at that time everybody was fascinated about the United States. It was 2010 was pretty much the start of touring the States. It was pretty exotic, everything comes from United States music-wise, the rock and roll, everything, Yeah, exactly. Everything was just of course you want to move there. Everybody's nice. It's so great. It's just a huge country, and everything is different. So it could be nice, in 2010, it could be nice to move to
But you guys didn't, so why didn't you move to the United States?
Well, first of all, actually I had a plan from when I was there for a month with my daughter and wife back in 2010. We laid out a plan that said we can do this, steps towards moving to the United States. And then, life came in between, but in a you could say in a good way. I got a job, I finished my studies, my wife, whatever, and then we stayed here for a while, and we kept the dream kind of alive, saying, okay, we'll do it at some point. And then, all while we had that dream, we were still touring the United States twice a year. Twice a year, we toured for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So 6 weeks a year, we were in the U.S. Touring, and we kept on, and we kept on doing that while we had that dream, and then slowly.
When kids came along, we had kids, stuff like that. But
we had kids from the beginning.
So then what changed?
I think
why did you guys come to the United States?
Basically, I think it was once you get fascinated about something, you just let's just do that. Go somewhere else, live somewhere else. It could be nice. Just play music, you could be nice living in the States. You just like go tour the States each month, you know, instead of 6 weeks a year. Be nice. It's cool. But
Yeah, you don't have to
coming
fly
back
to-
home, thinking about it, looking at the finances, Mikkel getting better at booking jobs. Our network grew, and starting to reflecting on like, what is it with this country? You know, what is it that we have in Denmark? And the whole thing, you know, just like started to, you know, okay, everything that we have here in Denmark, I won't have that when I move to the United States.
I think one of the first things that we realized was Stefan, our guitarist. He's a truck driver here in Denmark. He drives for
Good
Danfoss.
example, yeah.
Yeah,
Good example.
and he was the first guy that came up with like statistics. He was saying, because we were all like, hey man, Stefan, you can just go to the States and drive a truck, and then we can do tour and everything. And he's like, well, you know what? I have 6 weeks of vacation every year in this job that I have.
6 weeks of vacation.
6 weeks of
Paid
vacation.
or not paid?
Full pay.
Paid.
Full pay.
Well, no. Every month you set aside in Denmark, you put aside 12% of your salary in a fund. It's called like a vacation fund, and that's what pays your vacation.
But that's
So
on top of
you're financing it yourself.
so that's
but-
on top of your waste, of your average wage.
Yeah. But the
Okay.
thing was like, and then you have an additional week, and then because Stefan took some overtime, he could take extra time off, whatever. But he would have approximately 6 weeks of vacation every year. Plus he earns probably like $30 an hour doing being a truck driver. That would be my estimate of what he's earning. So he said he looked into what a truck driver earned in the United States, and I can't remember the numbers, but he was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get any vacation, and I can't afford to pay for hotels and flight tickets. Well, he wouldn't have to fly because he would be in the States, but it was just impossible. It would be easier for him to tour the States working in Denmark and then flying over, paying for work visa and everything, than actually being in the States and touring the States. And we were like, oh really? Is that it? Okay. I wonder what else there is about American society. And then we started like talking to people.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. So you guys, you come to the United States. You're stoked on it. You're gonna move there. And then you start reflecting upon your quality of life that you have in Denmark compared to the United States, and you realize that you're gonna lose too much by coming to the United States.
We already knew that, but you know, it just like, you know, it just became more clear in some kind of way. You know, we knew that we know that we're having a good life in Denmark. But coming to the United States and seeing all that, what we don't have, what you guys don't have, you know, and what we have, is just like shit. I can have a good job here in Denmark. I can actually put aside money on my bank account, go tour the States 2 times a year. I can tour Europe every month because it's so close, and I can still have vacation left over back home. And you know, I can have if I get sick, I get full paid from my job. You know, I just had a son. You know, 1 year of maturity leave, just like full paid. You know, universities, everything for free. And, if you start to add that up, it's like, okay, I could never, ever provide that for my son in the United States if I had to bring him and my wife over there.
Okay, so let me get this straight now. How much do you have a degree?
I am educated, what you call it, tool of engineer.
You have a trade school. A trade school.
Yeah.
How much do you owe for that?
I don't know, like average wage of that.
No.
Like how much
did you pay to do that education?
How much do you owe?
Nothing.
Wait. Okay. Wait real quick.
I don't know anything.
You don't owe anything. And what's your degree?
I have a master's degree in Middle Eastern studies.
How much do you owe? A master's degree. How much do you owe? How much do you?
Nothing. I was paid. What is it? It's called state support. State's educational support pays you. What is it? Approximately like $500 per month during your entire. Well, for I think it's 5 years. to do studies, and the studies are free.
Okay.
You pay a photocopy fee now, which is like probably like $100 per year now.
Okay, so I'll just out myself and say that I'm owing over 80,000 for my. That's average for a master's degree. But we'll talk about something else. Okay, so here's what's interesting. Partly why I wanted to do this discussion is that Fox News, just prior to me planning to come up and visit here with you guys.
We saw that. You know,
Right?
yeah.
Fox News put out a report basically saying that you guys are this terrible, like your life here is terrible because you pay such high taxes, or basically this is, you know, the crisis in Venezuela was somehow compared to what your guys' condition was here. So tell me what you think about the Fox News report, how the Danish people have reacted to it, and let's talk about like what was really going on there. We'll start with
You know, I was kind of, you know, I laughed a little because
Me too.
I think I really think she was a little bit ridiculous. You know, the host Trish.
Trish Intel.
Yeah, exactly. Trish, fake news, man. But the thing is, if you know, if you add up all the taxes that I pay, you know, I pay about 45% tax.
of your wages.
Yes.
That's more than
That
me.
scares Americans.
Yeah,
Whoa.
with the 8% of well, you know, like you're looking at 45%.
That's a lot of taxes.
Exactly. That's a lot of tax, man. But if you look at if you take an American citizen, you know, maybe he only pays like how much is the average?
We don't know.
But you know, how much do you pay in tax?
It's
20%?
It's not close to that.
No. Okay. Cool. But you know, like you basically like save everything for yourself, right? But you know, let's add up all the insurance. Let's add up all the money you pay for education. Let's add up everything that you pay for the services that you want to provide for your kids, for yourself. You know, educate yourself, whatever. You know, I would bet that you pay more than me. You know, if you add everything up.
Well, you just said $80,000.
Yeah.
He owes $80,000 to complete his studies. So there you go. There's one.
Yeah, exactly.
There's interest.
No, I actually owe more than I started because I can't pay it off.
But then again, it's like if you get cancer, you know, you would probably go bankrupt in some kind of way if you weren't insured.
Right. I was on an ambulance for 5 minutes and it cost me nearly $2,000.
Yeah. But then again, you know, like let's look at it this way. A huge handful of percentage of what I pay in tax, you can look at it as insurance.
So you don't
like
mind
education insurance, health insurance, whatever kind of vacation insurance.
I'm gonna be the
whatever.
devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I don't need that insurance. I want to bail out. Like I don't want that insurance.
Yeah, there's no
What are you
option.
gonna do?
There's no option.
Okay, well, so you're not free.
But you can't opt out of that.
So you're not free.
But the thing is like.
Right?
No, I know.
I'm just saying, man.
Yeah, I know, and that's the American thing. But the thing is, if you want people to have a better way of living, everybody has to chip in. That's how it works because.
Okay, you don't feel like. But what if the fact you have somebody who's this is the American argument, right? Let's say 3 of your neighbors here, they don't want to contribute to the system. They're lazy. They're sitting here. You guys are working to take care of your families. I mean, you know, is it fair that they get all these programs while you guys work hard and they can get all of these benefits?
I guess it's fair because it's you know, maybe if they want to be lazy and sit on their ass and, you know, drink beers all day, they probably didn't finish school, they probably didn't go to the university, they probably didn't do all of that. But they had the opportunity to do it for free. If they're sitting in there, treat people drinking their brains out every day, it's cool. They can do that. They won't go to the university and spend the university money or education money. They won't do that because they're sitting there. That's cool, but let's say they have children and their children want to be prime minister.
Better than what their parents are doing.
Yeah, exactly. The options are really good because everything they can go out, they can take an education for free, university all the way up, and they don't have to own shit.
So you guys pay how much? 25% consumer tax, right?
Is that sales tax?
Sales tax. We went grocery shopping today.
Mm-hmm.
We spent how much American equivalent? How much did we say? That was
that $35?
$35. It looked exactly like $35
Yeah.
worth, maybe more, maybe less.
Mm-hmm.
So, what American press talks about is you're paying almost 50% taxes, and then you pay 25% taxes. It sounds like you have no money to spend. You have nothing.
But the thing is, like, they don't add in the high wages. So, the thing is, like,
what's minimum wage here?
it's like $25 or something.
$25?
Yeah.
But then again, it's not a law. It's negotiated between the employers
Yeah, and the union. Yeah.
There's no government law passed about minimum wage. It's negotiated. It's like an unspoken rule, unwritten rule that in Denmark the government does not pass any laws about minimum wage. It's negotiated.
So this is an agreement between the workers and the private sector. So this is, in a sense, libertarian, right?
Also
Private
between the
sector-
workers and the public sector.
Yeah.
And the public sector. So basically, whoever you're working for, the workers have a strong union that defends workers' rights,
Mm-hmm.
and they make a deal with whoever they're working for. Is that how
Yeah.
that's what's working? Because
But then again, it's the same money spent. It's just like it's the same portion of money, just with more options added into it. It's just like in the United States you have like lower wages, less opportunities because you have to pay for everything, and if you can't afford it, you won't get that any education. You won't get that late treated or like that cancer cured or whatever. And you just like have to die or take a huge loan or whatever. That's it. But in Denmark, just like pay a little bit more. Everybody just chips in.
Okay.
And like it's the same thing. And you just earn more. You chip a little bit in, and then you have more opportunities. And it's just
okay, so let me ask you this. Obviously, people in Denmark, there's got to be people against this radical socialism as it would be seen in America. Would any political party from the far right, a conservative party, try to abolish the free health care in Denmark?
No.
The current Prime Minister, Lars Løkke Rasmussen, when he was working as the Minister of Health or something, during a different Prime Minister like 10 years ago, he was actually relocating a lot of money for the private hospitals, because we do have private hospitals in Denmark. You can choose. If you don't want to wait too long, you can pay and then go to a private hospital.
Okay.
And
The
risk
private
goes-
sector.
Yeah, exactly.
That option is there.
Okay,
Yeah.
capitalist options. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And he actually relocated a lot of money to, which is funny because it was government funding for the private hospitals, taking that from the public hospitals. So he was trying to get things happening over there in the private sector, but it just didn't really happen. And now, like, no.
So basically in America, let me make this clear. In America, the mere act of trying to argue for, like Bernie Sanders did, and some of the other candidates running that are based on that kind of Bernie Sanders model, to have free healthcare or universal healthcare in America, is talked about as if America is going to become North Korea if we do that, right? Like this is so radical, and you're telling me that the most conservative, the Republican Party in the United States doesn't want really any social programs. Is there any equivalent in Denmark to what the Republican Party is, for example,
No.
in Denmark at
No.
all?
Because if you have the left, and the middle, the right, that's Denmark, like here, middle. Republicans, probably out here somewhere.
They're off the scale.
If you had to like, if you had, have to place them somewhere.
So the Democrats don't even, as a general rule, Bernie Sanders was
Bernie
odd.
Sanders is pretty much like the most capitalist you can get here in Denmark.
The most capitalist. Not the most socialist, but the most capitalist?
Yeah, in Denmark.
So the Democratic Party, where would they fit in? If you take, like, let's say Hillary Clinton, and we put her, what the Democrats have supported.
Oh, it's a tough one, man, because
Probably with our current government. Right now, they're a bunch of Democrats.
Yeah,
They would fit right along with that.
Well, what do you mean by the current? So what would she be considered liberal or conservative or like right wing? What would she be?
If we had the same government for the next 10 years, or let's give them 20 years, we would have like pretty much an American system. But because it goes back and forth, sometimes we get left-wing government, sometimes we get right-wing. If we had the right wings going for like 20 years, then we would go towards an American system. It would take them a lot of time.
Okay. So what I'm asking is, would Hillary Clinton be considered left-wing or right-wing?
Totally,
extreme right.
Extreme right?
Be careful, be careful.
In a Danish perspective.
Financial politics.
In a Danish perspective.
No, and financial politics. Because now there's right-wing financially, and there's right-wing meaning racist. There's two things. Because now in Denmark, there's right-wing being National Socialist. So you're a right-wing because you believe in a white Christian Denmark, but you also believe in social values. And then there's the financial right-wings that believe in, like, my money, I keep everything to myself. And then there's the left wings, and that's a different story over there too. It's complicated. We have like 10 parties here.
Okay, so it's different. I know,
and they're all in parliament.
Now, you guys, you have wealthy people here. I saw you have millionaires. So there is this. This isn't.
You can be super rich here if you want, man. It's no.
You saw the mansions.
I saw the mansions. Now, okay. So this leads me then to this next question here. To move along.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I'd like to say something. I'd like to return to the whole thing about unemployment and people sitting on there. I've been unemployed. In Denmark, first of all, we have unemployment insurance, and that's a free choice. You can do it or you cannot do it, whatever. But if you do it, you pay a certain amount of money, which is probably like $150 per month, which is easy because you get a lot of money. Your salary is high, and when you work full time for a year, you're entitled to what we call like insurance for 2 years of unemployment, which is 80% of your salary.
Yeah.
Right now, if you're unemployed, you get after tax, you would get probably something like almost $3,000 per month on your bank account. That's the insurance, and most Danes have that. But it's state controlled. Not the insurance. That's a private fund. But the rules, the regulations are state controlled, and you have to live up to certain things. You have to apply for 2 jobs per week at least. You have to go to certain meetings. They control you. Like they're like, you cannot sit on your ass, and you find a fucking job right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right now.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've been there. I've been there between jobs, and I can say like the people there, they're desperate to get a job. Not because the system wants them to get a job, but because people want a job. Because it brings meaning to your life, and it gives you more money, and you want to be a social human being. Like we are social human beings. Like right now, unemployment in Denmark is 5%, and like there's like not even 1% of those people are like sitting on their ass thinking, oh man, I'm just gonna exploit the system. Everyone wants a job. Then you get like, you get the occasional asshole that is like, okay, whatever, I'm not gonna do anything because I can't just sit here and do nothing and exploit the system. But that's like 0.5%, even less. Everyone wants a job because we want a meaning with our lives.
Or if you want to change career, they would help you. They would go like, okay, so you want to change career? Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's just
we'll help you.
It's
with that.
important to know. Like,
It's a program. They will help you with that. You know, they will help you to get the job that you want, so that you can be happy.
sorry for kidnapping the discussion.
No.
but it's like, it's important.
Just to say, I think that for the average American hearing this discussion, what would be odd is that many of us have you know, if you grow up in this kind of strong work ethic. So a lot of my family I would call a working class Republicans.
Mhm.
This idea that you contribute to society and you take care of yourself individually, and you're not going to be lazy. But the idea that they have, and this is what's interesting, is to say, in the American mindset is that